Good. Oh, I forgot to turn the light on. There we go. Put some light on the subject, people. Big Will's here. Sam is here. I'm not in a jersey because it's the start of winter here as well, man. It's chilly. I mean, it's only chilly for Auckland, which for the rest of New Zealand probably doesn't count. But yeah, that's a bit of a cool one. Anyway, Big Will doesn't remember this game. I don't remember this game in any detail, but I remember the general response to the fact that the All Blacks managed to do a job on tour. This is back in the days of the tours, so yeah. Yes, up until this point, New Zealand had never gone on a tour of South Africa and managed to come away with a tour win. So this is the game that finally broke that drought. I think they go on to lose the third one of the series. But yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for some more torture, 2 cents. I promise no more South African losses for a while. Yeah. So I gave you the 1995 World Cup final. So, yeah. Hey, Nathan, how's it going? Yeah, supposedly a bit of a historic game. So, Minaz is the one who suggested it, so I hope he shows up. But we'll see. Still got a few minutes. Weather's fantastic in Brisbane. You see Sam Cane as All Blacks captain. What's my opinion? It's not a real huge surprise, man. I think it was going to either be him or Sam Whitelock. So the fact that it's Sam Cane kind of makes sense. I wouldn't give him more than 4 years because by the time next World Cup rolls around, he's going to be 32. I mean, he could do a Richie and go 35, 36, but I wouldn't have thought so. So, yep. Tim, you're not late. You're early. Still haven't started yet. Tim, Saturday is going to be one for you, probably. 2003. That one should be one for you. Did I get a haircut? Bro, I always do my own hair. Since I got married, I bought them clippers, which are like the not like the full length clippers, just little mini clippers that you can hold in one hand to do your own hair. I've always done my own hair since I got married, pretty much, because I figure I'm married, don't really need a flash haircut. You know, she wouldn't leave me over a haircut, I don't think. So, yeah, I just went a bit shorter than normal this time. I will always remember Sean Fitzpatrick pounding the turf after the final whistle. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was a competitive fellow. Ian Foster's contract is only 2 years. It is only 2 years. I can't imagine him not getting renewed, but you never know. It's all, mate, says Tim. Yeah, man, Saturday. I've even made Saturday's stream half an hour later. So whatever the time is now where you are, half an hour later. So it'll be 9:30 New Zealand time. That gives Tim and any other Englishmen who want to watch a little bit more of an excuse. 30 minutes more of an excuse to get a wee drink on. I know it'll still be AM. Chicken Wings is here. Have you bought KFC out of their supplies yet or no? Chris is here. Good man. I can see the sides of it. Looks fresh. Take the hat off. I've still got hair on the top, just not much on the sides. Sam's only issue may be his injury record. The other, how they work out Artie and who fits in at 6. I agree, Elaron, mate. I was kind of surprised that he's been around since 2012 and has only got 65 caps. And I'm not saying 65 caps, not that many. And he was probably, in the shadow of other players at times. Wouldn't have got as many starts like when Richie was playing. But I would have thought he would have had a bit more. I mean, the neck thing was horrendous, but yeah. Only 2 years with an option to extend. Sam is correct on that for Ian Foster. And yes, evening all. Kia ora to ABC. What am I drinking tonight? Well, I didn't buy these specially for the occasion. I had these lying around, but I got some Steinlager, which makes sense because I'm pretty sure All Blacks in 1996 have got Steinlager on their jersey. So matching the beer with the jersey. I think Scott Robertson will be coach after Ian Foster. He might well be. Warren Gatland seems to maybe want the job as well. He can be a bit injury prone indeed. Didn't buy any KFC today, unfortunately. Without KFC, I'm nothing. It was a painful day. I can bet. Right, we might as well get cracking. Link, I think I've added it to the description. I think I forgot to put it in earlier. But yeah, it should be there now, I think. 1 hour and 39 minutes, 34 seconds. Sam mentioned, yeah, we're at standard definition for this one. No HD back in 96, but hopefully we can still make out what is going on. The beer is cold, but it's already relatively cold in New Zealand, or not New Zealand, Auckland. So it's not been in the freezer. It's just been in the fridge. Nice food takeaways. But is this another smashing of the Springboks? I don't think it's a smashing. I can't actually remember the score. Someone might know it. I'm pretty sure it's a scrape by match. Yeah, so should be a good one. Yep, let's go. Yeah, as I said, link in the description. Let's get cracking. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
Is absolutely packed to capacity, 50,000
and people. That sound is coming out of my computer. Let's just switch that to the telly. That sounds a bit better than the 10-year-old laptop, doesn't it? Kia ora, slow-mo. ABC, drink responsibly, don't spill your beer. I've spilled the beer once on the live stream. I don't intend to do it again. Your wife is making the tea. She's a good woman. What's the time in New Zealand? It is 9:02 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Definitely not HD. Yeah, it's not the prettiest. The color does not pop off the screen. But look at that crowd. This one, it's Loftus, eh? I think even that camera angle's changed since then.
Just a bit of a delay in getting the two sides onto the field. We've seen a couple of curtain raisers here. We've just had a match between the Scottish schools and the South African schools, won by the South Africans 16-7.
French referee, it looks like. Yep, French ref. Nisbo is commentating. Yeah, this is the New Zealand feed. Justin Marshall, Sean Fitzpatrick, Steinlager. There you go. This is what I'm drinking, and this is what's on their jersey. It hasn't been on the All Blacks jersey for a long time. Packed crowd, exactly. God, bro, this 1996 All Blacks side was awesome. Team, one of the greatest sides of all time. I agree, man. It's a stacked side. It's an absolutely stacked side. I hope they put up the graphics with the actual full list, including the subs. A lot of these guys are kind of getting towards the end of their careers as well. I'm not sure when did Fitzy retire. He can't have been a couple of years after that. Where's this being played? It's in South Africa. I think it's Loftus Versfeld, I think. Did you know that spillage is downage? Is that... If that's a joke, it just went... Shoo. Meet as. I'm glad you're here, bro, because you picked this one. Creatic Moventa, Loose Trio, True, Fitzy, Sinzan Brook. This was an HD. That's just what Pretoria looks like. Shots fired, Grant. Shots fired. All right, cheers, everybody. I think this was the second of the 3-test series. The All Blacks had already won the first one. Oh, man, I have that Steinlager in yonks. Tinzan Brook. Oh, no French refs. That's not a good sign. Must be 3 bottles tonight. No. Just 2. Just 2. Let's hope Mertz has his kicking boots on. We will see. What do all the Brits think about the Umbro deal? It's a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? I honestly think Umbro, soccer clothes. Michael Jones was the man. Absolutely. If you spill it, you down it. Oh, spillage is downage. Okay, I haven't heard that one before. Game of all games. We will see. Is that Matt Damon? Man, look at that crowd. Packed. Okay, they're already cracking on with the anthem. Robin Brooke, he's singing it a bit. Marshall looks a bit younger. Christian Cullen, he's got the same haircut that I do on the sides, but not the top. Yep, Loftus, your hometown. You're probably at this game. Wow, this would have been a heck of a one to go to. Yeah, cheers, Minaz. It's a good one. Used, yeah. Jeff Wilson. How many tests in the series? I believe 3, plus a bunch of non-test games as well. What time are we on? The YouTube feed is at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So they're just going through the South African national anthem at the minute. Game clock haven't started yet. We're still at the anthems. I don't think they're going to do game clock or scorekeeping, hence the whiteboard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't do that in this one. I had a quick look. Olive Brown, yeah, that's right. Morning Fleshin. Drinking Tui in Thailand. There's no way they sell Tui in Thailand. Come on. Timer on the clock. I think that'd be hard to manage, but it is 6 minutes on the YouTube clip at the moment. I know for a fact that I have not watched this game. You're keen to see it. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different breed of rugby from what we have nowadays, which is often the case when you go back at the really old games. But it's not that old, but yeah, it'll be quick, I reckon, and it'll be brutal. Frank Bunce, yeah. I bet it's hard going drinking in that sun at the stadium. You'd probably want to be on one of the sides in the shade, eh? Although sometimes Eden Park, the side in the shade gets bloody cold. Even when it's a sunny day, it's very, very cold. Haka time. Do they still call it a Kenner haircut in New Zealand? I've never heard that one either. Man. Don't drink and drive because you might spill it. Some pro grade beef in both sides, I reckon, mate. Exactly, and Osborne as well. Listen to the crowd during the haka, man. Wow, awesome. Awesome. Players' names are on the video link. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. That's very helpful. Haven't seen it either. All white policy for the Boks. I didn't even notice, eh? Yeah, I guess there aren't any non-white players in the team. More open and fast game, no phase after phase. BS. We'll see how it goes. That's why you have your beer jacket on. I don't know what's called a beer jacket, man. I'm learning all kinds of new words today. Right, it's just kicked off. The YouTube clip is at 8 minutes and 51 seconds. And we start with a box kick, but offside. Scrums are always interesting in these old games and generally pretty quick. Oh, Simon Culhane's at 10, so no Mertens. Gee, how many tests did Simon Culhane play for the All Blacks? Kind of haircuts where you shaved your head. Mark. And Christian Cullen does the mark. Quick tap. Oh, they're living dangerously, these All Blacks. Hey, Ethan, how's it going? YouTube clip is at 10 minutes, 10 seconds, just FYI. All the young bucks, here's how rugby used to be played, fast and flowing. It's been a pretty quick start to this game, that's for sure. No mucking around. Oh, what's a pass from Stransky? Here go the Boks. Offloading. Can't hardly take my eyes off the game, sorry. Culhane played for Wellington back in the day. Man, I can't hardly remember. I didn't even recognize him when I first saw him. I was like, who is that fella? Stransky's got a headband on for this one. Oh, man. The Springboks are knocking on the door. They're playing with some silky skills. Try time. Holy moly. What a start. Far out. Okay, that was just non-stop. Wow, hardly got time to catch the breath. Bradley, how's it going, man? Got a favorite 996 All Black player? Ooh, Michael Jones, probably. Lots of collar pulling and loose jerseys. Yeah, there's a reason they tightened those things up, eh? Never watched the game, but certainly know the Springboks names. Yeah, I think from 996. I mean, I know the biggest names probably in the faces. The other guys, I might just know the names. Rugby opinion, how's it going? Seem to remember Mertens playing in the third test. Culhane definitely played the first two. Okay, and the third one is the one that the Springboks win. So here we go. That was quick. Yes. Now that was frenetic. Frenetic is the right word, bro. Absolutely. That did not give anybody a chance to breathe. Stransky is getting ready to line up the kick. YouTube clip is at 13 minutes now. Hard kick. Jersey tucked in. It's real baggy. He's looking very 90s, which is appropriate. Here he goes. He's just hit it off the post. Wow. Right. 5-0. Listen to that crowd. Yeah. Indeed. Stransky and Used, what a combination they are. Indeed. They are on fire. That run on the wing from Used was amazing. Indeed. He was looking very dangerous. Today's game would have been a penalty kick by now for infringing. There was one penalty early, but even then it didn't stop the pace of the game, eh? Silky skills from Mark Andrews. I think I heard him on a podcast recently. Would you watch a Trans-Tasman club series? Like, which level teams are we talking when we say club series? Well, when I watch it, if it's rugby, man, I'll probably watch it, to be fair. Was Lomu here? I didn't see him on the team sheet. I saw Wilson and Osborne. So I think no. Strap yourselves in, people, for a ripper. It's been a pretty good one so far, I got to admit. Frank Bunce used to be a garbage man. He used to run behind the truck picking up rubbish bags. I guess a lot of these guys, I mean, this is 96. So you can already see the Springboks have got like Nike on their jerseys, on their kits. But, yeah. Still heaps of these guys had day jobs. Whoa, 872 kgs to 830. That's a lot of extra beef in that Springbok pack. But that's not very heavy by today's standards. Was it the start of his health issues? True. Those kidneys really cost that guy, eh? Josh Kronfeld. I forget how long he's been around, that guy, actually. Oh, another turnover. Who's that 12, man? He's got some gas for the box. Go, Michael Jones. Zinzan puts on a kick. And it's not gone on the 22. I can't take the mark. Would have liked to see Rugby Classic matches being released on YouTube during lockdown. I've seen a few around. Yeah, there's been a handful. It'd be nice to see more. Please watch the match between the Boks and the ABs where the ref got attacked by a Bok fan. What game is that one? No Lomu, indeed. Jonah was injured. Yeah. Seen a post on Facebook arguing that they should have a 5-test Bledisloe series when the Trans-Tasman bubble opens up. 5 tests. Holy moly. I think that's too much, man. Too much. I think 3 tests is enough. I mean, I know financially it'd probably be a bit of a good money spinner. But can you imagine if the All Blacks went 5-0? Aussie rugby would be... That would be another nail in the coffin, man. Come on, 5 games. Cromfeld is in, indeed. The 4-pack had a lot of... Yeah. I have been making inquiries to the old biltong, so I spoke to a South African work colleague today about the biltong, and he gave me some recommendations as well. Man, look at Cullen. He is his youthful, sprightly self there, man. Oh, even Justin Marshall's got an eye for a gap. Number 12 for the Boks is Danny van Skalvik. Okay. Danny van Skalvik. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but boy, did he have some wheels. Have you seen Gareth Edwards' program 1974? I missed that one. No, I definitely haven't seen it. Lions tour of South Africa. He goes and talks. The play. Oh, okay. That is a bit of a sad one. I'll have to look out for it. This was when I used to hate the Springboks. I do remember this era because every time we would go to South Africa and tour, we would lose. That like going to South Africa was like a big deal. It was a huge, huge deal. And it was almost like Mission Impossible. Three blitters like chess is enough. There was a lot of hype at the time about Van Skalvik's name and centre partnership at the time. They were a young combo coming through at the Bulls. Okay. The Boks are looking strong indeed. And man, some of the gliding that's happening has been real. No worse than the Black Caps losing it. I don't know, man. He's missed that kick as well. New Zealand media hypes up the Black Caps whenever they go into a series with Australia or England. And if they get thrashed, cricket is kind of dead for a while. So, I mean, I don't know if it's in the same position as rugby is in Australia because cricket doesn't really have summer competition. Cricket's biggest threat is rugby because rugby just keeps bloody playing at the end of summer. So, yeah, no sport has really killed cricket in New Zealand more than rugby, which is a weird one. Man, look at Justin Marshall going. That guy's a madman. Oh, that was forward. Excuse me. Jeff Wilson's going for a try. I reckon that might have been a forward pass in that build-up. Just saying. It's going to be 7. Good pass. Oh, Justin Marshall just managed to beat that one tackle. Robin Brook. Oh, from that angle, it didn't look as bad, but the initial angle, it looked forward as. Rationale is it's the only way international could. Rationale is the only way international rugby could go on this year. The money could be made streaming to the Northern Hemisphere viewers who have no international rugby whatsoever. Yeah, that's the only thing I can see that would be the benefit to it is just the fact that you could make some serious coin. Which in this year that may be enough to justify it, bro. So yeah, maybe. If they do it, I hope it's 2 in New Zealand, 3 in Australia. Go back to Perth. I feel like South Africa has produced the best 12s in the world. They've got some pretty good ones. If I can find it, I will send you the link. Do, bro. Definitely do send me the link. Big Will's always drinking his Great Northern. I'll have to see if I can find some here. I've already found the old Castle Lager. Us South Africans can be very rough and aggressive and large. Bro, you guys produce a lot of big lads. Some proper big lads. New Zealand media hypes up everything. They think the Black Caps are gods at cricket, and then they don't win. Yeah, bit forward there. I thought so as well. No, bro, hands going backwards. Okay, we'll say hands going backwards. No TMO back in those days. Camera angles. Yeah, at least they got on with it. You got to admit, keep it going. And you got to hope over the course of the game that kind of stuff evens out, right? Jones looked like he was running in slow motion. Oh, karma. Lion Series in 2021 might not be on to save money. The South African rugby guy, what's his name? Like the big administrative boss of South African rugby said that it'll be on definitely. It's just about the timing. I reckon they'll probably have to space it out of the span of the year. COVID-19 isn't going away anytime soon. Yeah, I can't imagine with the way things are in some parts of the world that it's going to go away anytime soon. Man, Van der Westhuizen is such a live wire. You got to keep an eye on that guy. Mahaki Ellis always reckons Zinzan Brooks got a bit of a big noggin. Fair call. I would rather have running rugby with Australia than scrums and penalties against England and Wales. As long as it's a good game. I would unusually big guys. Indeed. There must be something in that biltong you guys are eating that packs on the pounds. Today's game is so slow. Seriously, phase after phase after phase after phase. There is a pretty drastic contrast from this to that, eh? Stransky has slotted that one, so the Boks go back in front. 8 points to 7 after 16 minutes. No jersey, bro. It's cold. It's cold. I'm being a bit of a sook. Yeah, it's a bit cold. I was tempted, but I decided, nah, I'm going to be a sook. Maybe it's the haircut, man. Don't have the same insulation I used to have. Oh, what a kick from Stransky. That guy was... I mean, I remember him for the 95 drop goal, but I don't know if I maybe appreciated how good he was. Today's game would have looked like 3-5 minutes, indeed. For the purists, hey, I can appreciate the purist game sometimes. Like the Wales-Australia one, was it last year, year before, that was like 8-7? That was still, the defense in that game was phenomenal. Crunching tackles. What a dive. Surely not, man. These guys didn't dive back in 1996. Notice I haven't even talked about the ref, and he's French. Yeah, the game just keeps moving. You don't need to worry about him. Van der Westhuizen's got like a really good balance of sniping runs, little chip kicks through. You'd have to be on your toes with that guy playing. My body is frozen. I have 2 blankets on top of me. I don't know if it's quite that cold. It's a bit cold. I think it's going to get colder.
Jones getting through as well.
9-3. Was it 9-3? What did I think it was closer than that?
This is a tough one for Christian Callum, but he does it easily in the end. Pushed it just a little bit too far to John Stransky.
Big difference is the numbers of players committed to the breakdown. I hate these days how they line up league games, then there's no space. I think there's definitely been a big influence of rugby league on rugby union in terms of the way the defensive lines operate, eh? A lot of guys who've had rugby league experience have become big-time defense coaches in rugby union now. I'm a wife beater and nut huggers. Man, so many new words. Nut huggers? Are they like one of those short shorts called? Stubbies? 22 degrees. 22 degrees is comfortable. I'm not sure what's Auckland's weather at the minute. Auckland weather. It's 12. So we're 10 degrees less. That's a bit chilly. Lost all power in your house. No way, Tim. That keeps happening. I lost power a couple of weeks ago. A few weeks before that, or day before that, John King, who's sometimes in the streams, he lost power to his house. It's not what you need when you're in lockdown, mate. 30 degrees where you are, jeez. This is why Kiwis like to leave for warmer climates. Where do people from Brisbane leave? Where do they go to? Or do the people in Brisbane stay in Brisbane? We know Kiwis like to go to Queensland. Where do the Queenslanders go? Sorry, 9-6. There you go. I thought it was a bit closer than that, but yeah, no, it's only 3 points closer. 33 degrees where Grant is. Oh my lord. Hughes was my favorite halfback in those days. A great halfback. Based on this, yeah, him and guys like Stransky. It's good that you can go back and watch the old games and they still live up to their reputation. The hands and running in these teams with their no-look passes and switches is looking like a Fiji game. Yeah, you definitely would say these guys still had the same skills. They just maybe didn't have the same training and size and things like that, but the skills were still there. Combine the two codes, man, that's sacrilege. You just got your time back. Your power back. That was pretty quick. Mine was out for a few hours the other day. Almost 31 minutes on the YouTube thingy. No air conditioning in my apartment. It's kind of near the sea. You live near Spark Arena. Oh, you're in the city. Yep, stubbies, nut huggers, according to your missus. Is your missus an Aussie? I guess you live in Australia, so that would make sense. The ref forgot about the advantage to the box. I forgot as well. Whoa, what a try! Queenslanders go to Bali. Okay. I guess that's a temperature increase. Is that Sunny Shore with the two flags in the crowd? Man, Wilson just burned them for pace. God, he was quick back in his day, hey? Wow. Great try. Or the Gold Coast. Jonathan, yeah, man, very well. Just a bit cold. Pretty well. 10 degrees. Okay, similar to here. 35 degrees in Dubai. Man, you guys are all over the shop. 35 degrees. I hope you've got the AC on. Good kick. All Blacks back in front. Queenslanders generally do a lot of camping, but most go to Bali. Okay. Camping in Queensland, that sounds dangerous. Isn't there like cane toads and snakes and stuff? Anything over 25 is uncomfortable for a South Islander. Yeah, I suppose. She's an Aussie. No wonder she doesn't want you watching the rugby, man. She's probably into a league. Don't tell me Aussie rules. Oof, that's a knock on. Classy try, indeed. The one with the AB scrape time. Been a few of those. If you want to get verbal abuse from fans, Loftus is the place to go, for real. Loftus. Where did the famous tackle that somebody mentioned earlier, the fan who tackled the ref, where was that? Which ground? Oh, I forgot how good Jeff Wilson was. I've been guilty of that with Stransky, with Van der Westhuizen. Yeah. Should do a video where we send you rugby skills and you rate our footy skills out of 10 and then leave something to work on that they were good at. I could send it to my dad. He used to be a rugby coach. Oh, I actually got my dad's video to edit. My dad did a video. Did I mention it? I've just got to edit it up for him. I haven't done it yet. 17 degrees in Melbourne. That's not too bad. I'd still have Corey Jane over Goldie for the all-round skill. Corey Jane was slick as. Missed kick. Stransky's missed a couple. Yeah, Corey Jane was pretty good. That is also true. First time I've ever seen England rugby fans sound like England football fans. What? Surely not. As a mountain man, I love 23, 25 degrees. Don't like to sweat without good workout. Oh man, Cobus Visa's coming on. I'll be interested to see what he looks like when he was a lot younger. Because he is a man mountain. The big man is right. Far out. Look at the size of him.
2 tries to 1, 14 points to 8. 14 minutes remaining in the first half. This time Olo Brown takes it.
Ellis Park, okay. I'm in Auckland, so 2 cents doesn't need a weather report. There you go. I'm feeling it. I go camping all the time. It's awesome camping in Queensland. The wildlife is okay. Okay, good. I haven't been to Queensland for years. I'm not since 1994. I think I've been to Queensland. I seem to remember my uncle hitting, this is my aunt's husband, hitting cane toads with a golf club. He was a classy guy. All the important tackles being made. Stransky. Swat again. Oh, into the All Black forwards. 2018 England game. 2018 wasn't really England's year, huh? The fan attack happened in Durban, but he was probably from somewhere up north. Come on. Surely not. You can probably find out. Oh, man, the All Blacks got their tails up at the minute. Penalty. She's a Broncos fan. She doesn't watch too much rugby, but she watches a lot of NRL. Sounds pretty much standard for Aussie. He recorded it a long time ago. Yeah, my dad recorded. I need to do it. I need to edit my dad's video. What year was the first Tri Nations? Good question. It can't have been too long after this. 98? I don't think Cobus Visa has ever been small. He was born 120 kilos and 2 meters. I wouldn't be surprised. He is a behemoth. diehard Maroons fan. Easy to wind up when it comes to the Broncos in Queensland. April, how's it going? Even over here, for some reason, people care about state of origin. New South Wales against Queensland. I don't know why people pick the teams they do, but everyone seems to have a team. Another penalty. Pace of this game is breathtaking at times. I mean, I guess they probably had to be a bit smaller to keep up that kind of pace, right? Nowadays, it's all about bulk, but the game is so stop-start, they get more breathers. 98, 90. Oh, for the Tri Nations, yeah, I think maybe 98. They had Tri Nations in 96, really? Probably because there's no good domestic league in New Zealand. Yeah, I think even New Zealanders probably think that the state of origin is probably the highest level league game you can see. It's proper rivalry, and it's some of the best players, like more so than internationals, I would imagine. The ref's kit looks like the French national team's kit. I was actually thinking the same. It's even got the logo on it, so... Do you think Kurman Bosch should pay 10 or 15 if he wants to play for the Box? Maybe if they do a dual playmaker, he could go 15. I think he needs to play 10, but he needs to tackle better. He really, really can't succeed at test level if he's got such a vulnerability about him. Half my family support New South Wales, other half Queensland. Yeah. I don't know how people get a team, like I said, but people just seem to. Walter Little just tried a droppy, and it is pretty far wide. Tri Nation started in 96. Okay. When was it played then if they had a tour of South Africa in the same year? End of the year? These old games show us how they messed up rugby. It could be sad, but true. To remember I'm from that era, just the memory has faded. I think all our memories have faded a wee bit. That's human nature. Oh, loose ball. Nothing doing. People would prefer to play State of Origin than play International Rugby League. I agree with that one. I think it just seems to be the highest standard, eh? Big Will watched another women's game, the 2017 World Cup semi-final, New Zealand, USA. Portia Woodman carved it up in that game. How many tries did she get? Must have been a few. Scrum free kick. Quickly taken. That is the story of this game. Wilson couldn't get that final pass away. Do you like rugby league? Adam does not. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. You can't avoid but getting some of the news of it over here. But I was into it a bit when I was maybe even 10. There's photos of me in a Roosters hat when I was 10, 12. Because I think rugby was probably a bit too complicated for me when I was 10, and that was before rugby was professional. So league with all its merchandise to a 10-year-old, I think was a bit more appealing. Tri-Nations was before this. How did they fit in a Tri-Nations and a tour? When did... I don't know. To go back and do my history lessons. I think he should fight with Fussy for the Bok jersey. That's Kerwin Bosch. Far out. Different players, eh? Very different players. Depends if you want kind of two playmakers or a playmaker and a just genuine attacking threat. Half of your family grew up in the Gold Coast, so they support Queensland. Would have loved to see Corey Jane play up here, but yeah, true. Some guys don't make the trip. I think she got 4 tries, but she was good. Whoa, Christian Cullen. Oh, he just got caught. And he lost the ball forward. Man, so close. 4 tries, but she was good. The whole game was good. We might have to do some more women stuff, man. Can't deny it's been pretty exciting. Oh, I just lost that ball. Imagine if the Warriors won the final in 2011. New Zealand would have won the NRL and the Rugby World Cup. Oh, Zinzan Brooks got a try. Nisbo's getting excited. John Hart's got a smile on his face. Wow. Set move pays off from the back of a scrum. Marshall. Switch play, and Zinzan beats his man. You gotta love it when a set play plays off, eh? Pays off. British and Irish Lions tour from the 70s. Yeah, if I can find something online, that would be an idea. I would probably know even fewer of the players, but man, 21. All Blacks are looking pretty comfortable at this point after that. This is a raw start from the Springboks. The All Blacks have had all the momentum. How old is Nisbo? Oh, he would have to be getting near retirement age by this point. He must have been in his 40s here. He sounds a lot younger. Epic dry. Problem is the League World Cup is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, Rugby League doesn't have the same international following that Rugby Union does. It's kind of just New Zealand, Australia, Tonga in recent years, which is a lot of guys who left the New Zealand team to go play for Tonga, which is fair enough. They can switch. They weren't happy with how things were in New Zealand and Great Britain. I checked out some Women's World Cup games. Was a bit surprised to find out the US won the first one in 91. I did not know that, man. That is an awesome factoid. But the US are one of the better teams, hey? Ooh, out of the full. Zinzan Brook is a beast. Zinny can score tries, kick drop goals. He is the man. Pretty versatile. I heard quite a few cost more money to stage than they brought in advertising ticket sales and sponsorship money. Wow. That's one thing you cannot say about the Rugby World Cup. That thing just prints money. I think it's one of the most watched events in world sports right after the Olympics and the football. It's got to be up there. Because Australia always wins and every other team performs bad. I think New Zealand's won before, right? AB's set moves have been pretty crap in the last few years. Yeah, it depends who you've got on the coaching staff to work out all that stuff. I think Wayne Smith always talked about it being taking a really complicated idea and making it simple enough for a bunch of rugby players to understand and execute. That's that's basically the key to him in his coaching career. USA is amazing in sevens. That is true. What happened here? It was a bit high. Yeah. Big tackle. The US women are so dominant in soccer, soon it will be rugby. Iceman turns on the hits in the second half. Maybe that one fired him up. What's a little Bunce versus Conrad Smith and Ma'a? Who's better? Man, you tend to just default to the recent ones, eh? But I don't know. Both pretty good. Probably after the Olympics, soccer, NFL, NBA, and cricket. Yeah. I guess because the Super Bowl's one game. Would the Rugby World Cup final get more viewers than the Super Bowl? The NBA is like a 7-game series, so I don't know how many viewers that gets. What's a penalty? Half time. Decent lead for the ABs. Andrew Blowers, man, that's a blast from the past, that name. League is in dire straits up here. Going to be real hard for them after the lockdown. They were struggling before it. Wow, sounds like Union in Australia. It's the opposite story. I'm getting bothered by work the entire time. Oh, I know the feeling, Chris. Literally half an hour before I started this stream, I was still finishing off some work because I got my kids to go to bed. And I was like, right, do some work without distraction, but not during rugby. Has Ma'a retired? He was still playing for San Diego Legion in the MLR this year, but with that competition called off, I think he is unattached. Oh, I thought Sinzan might kick it there. I haven't updated for a while. I'm at 52 and 15. 52 minutes, 15 seconds. Bunce and Little in this series were on another level. Can't argue with that. The thing with women's sports is that the women's sports programs are new in many countries, so it's hard for countries to really have any advantage or legacy of producing good players, teams, and coaches. I guess that's probably true as well, eh? I mean, it gives countries with a bit of financial edge a chance to... Man, look at Cobus Visa, he's huge. To get things underway. And like you say, not have to rely on existing kind of player base. Maybe that's why the US gets a leg up. Don't know. Just Google and found out South Africa does actually have a rugby league team called the Rhinos. Who knew? Yeah, why is rugby league not popular in South Africa? What happened? I think the government has given league a £60 million handout to see them through. Wow, that's lucky. I don't think the rugby teams have gotten a dollar over here. Heard Ma'a could be back off to Super Rugby again. Man, he's one of the few players who's still around. He's older than me, man. Even Denmark has a league team. Yeah, my dad will often call me and be like, "Did you know Sri Lanka has got a rugby team? This guy's coaching over there." And I'll be like, "Wow," because he gets the rugby magazine, the rugby news monthly magazine, and they do stories about that kind of thing. So, yeah. The list of countries that play union is massive as well. And a lot of them, you wouldn't have thought so. Penalty for the All Blacks, 24 points to 11 after 43 minutes. Cohen instead of Korean. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. Yeah. I just can't get on with league. I mean, I've mentioned it before. I can't see that much difference with league in terms of the way that the teams play. And it's probably because I just don't understand the game. But they all seem a bit kind of samey. You basically just you take as many tackles as you can and then you kick it, right? Whereas with Union, you can have teams which don't even look to score tries. They just try to kick goals. Other teams which can't kick goals and just want to score tries. Teams with a good set piece, but rubbish backs like Georgia without, just like a stereotype, or, other countries which traditionally set piece has not been great, like Japan, but they've got some real flashy backs. There's so much variety. I don't know, man, for me, that's a huge added level of depth. So many different ways to win. But again, I don't watch enough league to comment. It's just me being very general. Most succeeded by stopping university schools' armed forces from having rugby union teams if they also field a league team. Even Brazil has a union team, and they're all right, actually. The Māori All Blacks played them a while back. Yeah, Culhane is looking like a bit of a sharpshooter compared to Mertens. How did Mertens get more games? I do remember Danny Croywin was completely against being professional, and rugby league was professional, so he effectively banned rugby league in South Africa. Okay, that might be part of it, bro. That makes sense. Would love to see how the Rabbitohs would fade up against the best rugby union teams. Different skill sets, eh? I mean, that's another thing about the difference between league and union is the sizes of the guys. Like, when I look at a rugby player, I can usually tell prop, halfback, midfielder, outside back, probably. Like, league, I can't really tell. Like, Sonny Bill was a forward in league, right? Union is getting nothing. I think the whole league pro structure is on the verge of collapse up here. In Australia, it didn't work because a famous rugby union player called Daily Messenger 100 years ago defected to league. That bastard. I've been chatting much. These electrics are doing your head in. The fridge socket is tripping the lot out. Oh, have you got too much stuff plugged in or what? Storm versus Crusaders. If they're playing Union, probably the Crusaders. If they're playing League, probably the Storm. I feel like a Union team would adapt better to playing League than the other way around, but it'd be hard for some of the props and whatnot to get on unless they were pretty mobile. I don't get the appeal of League. Rugby can be very strategic. I'm with you on that one. Oh, missed a penalty. How many points has Stransky missed today with that boot? It's a few. I'm not a leaguey, just a few Northerners where you live. Whereas League looks like players running into each other. Yeah. Some of the hits are pretty big, if that's what you're into. That's what I hear some of my league mates. Well, I've got one main league mate talking about, but the hoods. Smashed them. I mean, I like watching smash tackles as well, to be fair. There's a show called The Crowd Goes Wild over here, which is a sports news show, which is like 30 minutes. Not at the moment because there's no sports on, but they have a segment every week called Smashed 'em Bro, where they just take the best clips from any contact sports, even non-contact sports if there was some contact, and they just play like a minute or 2 minutes of just big tackles. So I like the big hits as well. What can I say? I feel as if South Africans would not enjoy watching League. I think it's got a lower bar of entry. It's definitely easier to understand. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like soccer's easier to understand as well, right? The only thing people usually struggle with the soccer is like, what does offside mean? And even that's not very hard. Compared to trying to explain union to someone, it's like, why is it if he kicks the ball out on the full here, that's back to where he kicked it from, but over there it's fine? Or why is it if he catches it here, he can mark it? What the hell's a mark? Like rugby union's got a lot of complex rules to try and understand, which is a bit higher barrier to entry, I feel. I like League, but Union is more free-flowing. They have done League versus Union up here. They did that, I think, a while back here as well. They did some kind of crossover match. Man, Minaz is on his fourth lolly drink. I will open the second beer then. The second of two beers. I haven't had Steinlager in a long time, so... And it's still cold, man. It must be cold here because that's kept its temperature pretty well from the fridge. Cheers, everybody. Oh, Marshall's just knocked it on. Tackle, 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 kick. That's kind of what I see when I watch League. Tackle, 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 kick. And I see like both sides doing the same thing. And if they kick one like tackle before they needed to, it's like, ooh, they did something different. I played a game of League for the Matraville Tigers in 2007. They needed me to fill in. It was a bit quicker, but they pretty much just needed to hit the ball up. Yeah, that's it. I like the ball handling in League. England Rugby have those second man play around the back a la League. Eddie Jones influence. Culhane is playing the bomb. Must be a strategic decision. Go easy, man. I know, 2 beers. It's a work night. Man, that night I had wine. I slept pretty well. I gotta admit. I might have to Google Two Cents Rugby record. He's playing well. Yeah, man. Tell me how many tests he had if you can. I'll be curious to know because he's having a pretty good game. I always imagine India to be a hot place. Wet. Although it's not been that wet this year. Yeah. Not that hot. Mild. I think similar. It's pretty temperate. It's kind of like England, I think, in terms of the temperature. It never really hits 30 degrees. But it does get really hot in the sun, and it's really easy to get sunburned here because of the ozone hole thing. Like, you can be outside 10, 15 minutes and you can get sunburned. So, yeah, you got to have lots of sunscreen in New Zealand and Australia too, I guess. 6th beer so far. My Lord. I am nursing things in comparison. What minute? The YouTube time marker says 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 30 seconds. It's the 13th minute of the second half. Rugby over league for sure. Too pretty for rugby league. Okay, I'm not going to go there. You need to perfect the pinky finger. Oh, yeah. The way of drinking the beer, right? There you go. That's classy. Right? Ooh. There's been a few knock-ons in the second half. That's another penalty. I played league for Waikato University 83-84, just a bunch of ex-rugby players who got taught the rules as we played. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we played rugby league at lunchtime. It was a bit of fun. Surprised you're not hitting the red wine again. Yeah, I think I need to pace myself with the red wine. Sun in New Zealand is harsher than Brisbane. I get tan and Brisbane go red in New Zealand. Yeah, it's real easy to get burned. Most annoying thing watching the league is when they wriggle on the floor like a dying fish. That is true. Why do they do that? They get tackled and they just put them until the guy gets off them. And if the guy doesn't get off them quick enough, the ref penalizes them. I don't understand it. Frank Bunce is going sideways. Big looping pass to Sean Fitzpatrick out on the wing. No. So New Zealand, England of the Southern Hemisphere. Got it. Yeah, I think kind of. It rains a lot. It's not very hot. It's not as cold as England, I feel like, at least not in the North Island. South Island is probably like the north of England, whereas the north of New Zealand is like the south of England, I guess. It's all reversed because of the hemispheres. Faf versus Lomu played the same time. You can't ask a New Zealand fan who wins against Lomu, man. New French defense coach was an ex-league as well. Yeah, Sean Edwards. Yeah, man. Big-time league guy. There was even talk that when he left Wales, he would be going to be like a head coach of a Super League side over there, but he ended up joining France. Watch in a different league with Matty Ridge to see the difference between the two fitness levels. I remember when Matthew Ridge joined rugby league, that was a big thing. Isn't rugby league just touch rugby? Not sure if it's quite touch. Sean Edwards was apparently a league legend. Yeah. I mostly only know Sean Edwards for his Wales defence coach work. Faf is the annoying little ankle biter. Yeah, if he took him around the legs, you'd think he would definitely bring him down. But I think Jonah would definitely mess up his header. The Boks are very close. Back for the penalty. New Zealand is almost the exact opposite side of the world from Spain, so I think England comparison isn't super accurate. I think in terms of our temperature, we're definitely closer to England than we are to Spain, though. But yeah, I think if you drilled a hole through New Zealand, you end up in Spain. Through the opposite side of the world. Try time. Box with a little set play of their own. Set play being get a bunch of bodies all together and be a tank. A human tank. Surely he'll kick this conversion. Do I just write 18? Really snows in New Zealand outside the Southern Alps, and yeah, it's most of the snow is in the South Island. Certainly never snows in Auckland. Yep, he has kicked it. 18, right? It is 18, right? Yeah, questioning myself. When was the last time you saw a try like that? Yep. I have to say that New Zealand and UK weather found very similar, but summer lasts longer and is hotter in the UK. Winter is better here because you have central heating. Yeah, New Zealand winter tends to be very wet, and it gets pretty cold because a lot of the houses, especially older ones like the one I live in, are not very well insulated, and they don't have central heating. Wow, that's an old school try. Yeah, that's pretty much the epitome of an old school try, yeah. James Dalton, wow. Reggie went to league because Kipper Gallagher was 15. As soon as he went, Kipper went to Leeds. I thought he went for the money. Porsche was great that World Cup. Most of the Black Ferns games will be exciting. I agree. Oh, Springboks almost went close there. They're still going. Is that a try or is the touchy going to call it back? There's no TMO. Is he giving the try? Jeez, look at the size of Corbus Visa. I think he must have given it. Bounce of the ball's pretty cruel for Cullen. The box knock it backwards. Van der Westhuizen picks up the scraps. Chester Williams, no, I haven't seen him in this one. These were the days of rugby. Yeah, they didn't muck around. They certainly got things going. It's fast-paced. I've got a new house and we hardly use the heating in winter because so well insulated. Yeah. Oh, he's missed the conversion, man. He has not had a great day with the boot. New Zealand's put in some laws about insulating houses a bit better than we currently have, but I think it's still, yeah, a lot of the older ones don't have it. Great try, is right. Last time I spent a summer in England, it was so hot, people frustrated because they felt their Spain trip was a waste of money. Yeah. Eustace the man. He's having a blinder, isn't he? He has just been everywhere in this game. Damn it, Stransky. Yeah, he's missed at least 2 conversions and, 2 penalties? Don't injured houses get mouldy with all the wetness? The older ones or the poorly constructed ones do. They do get pretty mouldy. Isn't Northland basically subtropical? Yeah, Northland's pretty warm. It's not like Queensland, but yeah. Northland is pretty comfortable. Mold was horrible in Wellington. Yeah, you get a bit of mold in a lot of places. The All Blacks have just kicked a penalty. John Preston's come off and straight on to kick a penalty. Planning on moving to New Zealand from Ireland at the end of the year. Why, man? What's wrong with Ireland? Whereabouts in New Zealand as well? Is it a job thing? Weather thing? Lifestyle thing? New Zealand, I would imagine, is pretty chill compared to a lot of places. Could be mistaken, though. New Zealand and Ireland have got pretty similar populations. Sick of the constant rain. May as well get some sun, too. New Zealand rains a wee bit as well, but our summers are pretty nice and dry usually. Winter is wet and horrible. Dalton is on. Don't move to Auckland. New houses are warm, but if you're in a terraced or semi-one of the train, you can chat with your neighbor through the walls. Did I tell you about that apartment I lived in China that was just separated by a wall like that big? I could hear everything. John Preston, there's a blast from the past. Indeed. Whoa! Michael Jones is galloping away. But who brings him down? Used van der Westhuizen, of course. Huntley is a lovely place and not too far from Auckland or Hamilton, I guess. I'm Aussie. I haven't even heard of Huntley. And even I've heard things about Huntley. What's wrong with Huntley, apart from the power station that's run the wrong way? It was from Killarney, and it's beautiful there. What's wrong with Ireland? If you can get wet and dry 6 times a day, terrible place to live if you have weather-induced mood swings. Auckland rains a lot too, man. I don't know. I haven't seen like the rainfall percentages. We do have nice summers, I got to admit. Summer's pretty nice. I've done a video, though, that I'm going to probably pop out later in the week. And you can hear the rain. It was that bad. The rain comes through on the microphone. It's a lovely place for sure. Just want to experience something different. May as well go all out. Nice. I guess it's the opposite, man. Heaps of Kiwis like to go to the UK, Ireland, France, like to experience something different. Grow up in some small country at the bottom of the world. You want to go like the big smoke. You want to go to Europe or America or somewhere like that. Things I've heard about Huntley: broken furniture and cars left on yards, meth addiction, unemployment. Man, you know more about Huntley than I do. I just know it as like lifestyle blocks and the power station, the river. Huntley has that 100-year-old Dicker sign. Dicker. Even I'm old enough to remember that one. There was a Dicker down our local shopping area before they all closed down. It became the warehouse, I think. Sad how it used died. Yeah, a fair few of the guys from this era have passed away. Clock time on the clip, it is at 1:21:22 for me. They don't show the game clock, so I'm not sure. Ireland and New Zealand are very much the same. Ireland has leprechauns and New Zealand has hobbits. Similar populations. Both like beating England at rugby, although we lost to you guys the last time we played. I'm not going to go there. There's a Facebook page called... yeah, I've been on that Facebook page. Those guys got death threats, man. Yeah, they got death threats for some of the stuff they said about some towns. I got to admit, when I was in the South Island right before we went to lockdown, because I was stupid and decided to proceed with a trip with all this stuff on the horizon, I drove through because I had to get the only flight that I could get out of the South Island was from Dunedin. I had to drive from Invercargill to Dunedin, and I went through, was it Gore? And Gore has still got like a United Video, like a video rental place, like a Blockbuster kind of thing. And I was like, wow, don't see that much anymore. So that would be the kind of thing you would see on that kind of Facebook page. Dicker. Yep. Dicker was a department store in New Zealand a long time ago. France is gorgeous, a bit overpopulated, still gorgeous. Same with Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, and the UK is a bit grey. All places I've never been, but one of these days. Fitzy was such a dick sometimes. It's got a good reputation with most Kiwi fans, not so much with opposition. Put it that way. Low blow, yeah. A few have passed away, but then you get Nas Borta, Cobus Visa, who are still going strong. Yeah, some of those lads still look like they could run out on the field. Do they still have farmers in New Zealand? Of course, bro. How can you not have farmers? The Farmers Santa Parade is still the Farmers Santa Parade, I think. Farmers doesn't have a catchy song, though, like Decca did. Think about Sam Cane. Oh, pretty steady as she goes appointment, I think, with Sam Cane. Can be grey, but there's not a cloud in the sky today in my part of the UK, and it's green as. That's a thing that I guess New Zealand probably shares with the UK and Ireland, is that because it rains, it's very green for a lot of the time. When I first moved to China, I had to ask somebody, because I went to teach in a high school. I asked them, as Stransky lines up a kick. He's got that one. I asked somebody, why is the grass brown? And they said, well, it's not spring. It's summer. Why would the grass be green? Because it's always bloody green. That's the color of grass. Yeah, I didn't know. Australian version of that page, and they're receiving threats from people living in small rural towns. Yeah, people get a bit sensitive about that kind of stuff. I like to think if people gave my suburb a bit of grief, I would take it in good humor. Said it before, Fitzy used to call my cousins racist names. Oh, man, that's terrible. That's really bad. I knew he was a bit dirty and like the ruck and the scrum and stuff, but that's not good at all. Briscoe's babe, what happened to her? Well, a bit of inside knowledge, because my wife works for the Briscoe's company. Briscoe's lady, Briscoe's is a homeware store here in New Zealand who's had the same lady doing their ads for like 30 years. She doesn't actually work for Briscoe's other than to do their ads. She's a farmer, I'm pretty sure. She lives out on a farm and she comes up to Auckland every now and again to film some ads and do voiceovers and stuff. I think she either wears a wig or her hair is dyed for the ads because she's fully grey. Yeah. My wife's got a photo with her. Just imagine TMO in this game. So many potential yellows. Yeah. The game would have had a lot more stop-start. Let's put it that way. Wow. Another kick from Preston. Pressure kick, that one. Man, he's done well off the bench, eh? Jeez, with only like 5 odd minutes to go. Huge kick. Close game is right. People are so precious death threats because someone doesn't like your town. Yeah, get over it, basically. Say something funny about it and then laugh it off because, yeah, nowhere is perfect. Yeah, it's just tongue-in-cheek banter. Flu shots. I haven't heard about players having to get flu shots. I don't think I've ever had a flu shot. I know my wife had them when she was pregnant, and my dad gets them. The box, I happen to spin it here. I think my mum gets them as well because they're kind of in the age group where they need to get flu shots. Is she still doing Briscoe's commercials? Yeah, bro, she still does the Briscoe's commercials. My wife had her photo with her like last year. Yep. Preston looks like a young Grant Fox. There is a resemblance. I agree. If this game was a modern one, we'd probably only be at about 60 minutes. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot more stoppages, TMO, all that kind of stuff. I saw there was an article in one of the Australian papers about wanting to get the game sped up and introduce like a scrum clock to make sure they set the scrum within a certain time, like a shot clock in basketball. I just saw a Mike guy with a mullet in the background. It's 1996, man. The people still got mullets nowadays, so it's a fashion statement. One of the highlights of living in Auckland was paying half of your weekly paycheck to live in a cupboard. Auckland does have a very high price of cost of living, like in terms of renting and stuff. Yeah. What's the name of that English woman with the funny voice that used to do the infomercial? Suzanne Paul. I think she was Scottish. She might have been English. No, she was English. Yeah, Suzanne Paul. I think she's still around. She does the odd infomercial every now and again, but not as many as seen on TV. And yes, April's got it there, Suzanne Paul as well. Suzanne Paul set up some, like, it was supposed to be like a dinner and a show thing in Auckland, but it was like a multicultural performance, but apparently it was really terrible and they went bust and she lost most of her money. She put her life savings into it, so kind of sucks for her. Because she came over to New Zealand as like some immigrant Brit and made herself like a millionaire over here doing infomercials with her voice. I forget that product she used to advertise, the skin product, Glow something. Anyway, Scrum Clock sounds like an idea to check out. Zinzan Book with a droppy. I didn't know that was in this game. Me, Naz. Far out. Okay. That is an iconic moment. Not quite straight down the middle. Wow. Natural Glow. That's the one, April. I knew it was something Glow. But man, what a kick by Zinni. That is one of the legendary All Black moments of like all or recent All Blacks history anyway. But it's not game over yet. Because remember, they've still got injury time back in these games, right? The 1990s didn't reach Pretoria until 2002. What's your opinion of South African teams leaving Super Rugby or getting kicked out of Super Rugby? I don't want to see it happen. I love the fact that the guys get to go to South Africa and test themselves, but I guess we're in a different state of affairs in the current day than compared to 1996. So, I don't know. Oh, Grant. I was on a volcanology trip to Mount Tarawera while this test was on, listened alone on the radio at whatever o'clock in the middle of nowhere. Wow. That's impressive. You can remember exactly what you were doing, bro. Cheers, man. I appreciate that. How was the cricket the other day, man? I watched a bit of it on the app. I never realized there were so many Indian guys playing cricket in Taiwan. Everyone loves a drop kick. For all the grief we give drop kicks are some of the most memorable moments in rugby history, right? There's a drop kick that Fleshin is not that keen on seeing on Saturday when we go back and watch the 2003 final. That's it. Game over. Wow. 1928. Was a blast looking for some corporate types to fund the cricket more. Nice. At least you guys have got sports on in Taiwan, man. There's nothing on here. They just had greyhound racing on here in New Zealand, and that was a big deal. But you can see what this game means to those All Blacks guys to be the first team to win a tour in South Africa, man. They look so relieved. Yeah. And they look shattered. They look absolutely shattered. My wife is giving me a hard time for battling to watch the live stream. Sam, it's a great watch. I agree, man. Fitzy is buggered, indeed. Still hard to enjoy the French refs, indeed. Taiwan, number one. Things are getting back to normal on the mainland as well, bro. Just FYI. Time to play with the electrics. All right, man. Yeah, take care, Tim. Fix the electricity problems you got having. Yeah, remember, for Saturday's game for the 2003 final, half an hour later. I mean, it'll be in the stream, like, start time description or whatever, but yeah, half an hour later than usual to give you guys a bit more rest in the northern. I think the Aussies is still going to be a decent time as well. So those were the days, and then the TMO ruined it, indeed. And this was a pretty nice, like Slow-Mo mentions, after the 95 disappointment. I guess this was a nice way for those All Blacks guys to not forget about the World Cup final defeat, but at least get a bit of joy from South Africa. Thanks, April. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, the wife is she's just chilling in the other room. The kids are asleep. That's why I do these streams usually at this time, because the kids are asleep, so the wife shouldn't be under any extra stress. But I do get the living room. Yeah. Every now and again, she's like, "Can I do my work in here?" Because she's doing work from home, and I say, "Yeah, that's fine," but she never wants to. So, Big Will, cheers, man. Yep, Saturday, 2003 final. Thank you, brother. That should be a good one. Another game famous for a drop goal. But yeah, Alaran, cheers, bud. See you later. 7:30 for you Aussies. Okay, not too bad a time then. At least finish your bottle. Yes. True, I should. Almost done. There we go. Thank you, guys. It was a bit of a blast from the past. Like I said, I didn't know it was the Zinzan drop goal game, so historic moment for the All Blacks to get a win on tour in South Africa. Zinni's drop goal, Jeff Wilson's tries. Big performance from Houston, losing performance, but hey, what can I say? Bit of fun. Yeah, see you guys on Saturday, if you're keen, for the 2003 final, England against Australia. All right, guys. Take care. See you later.